Something wrong? Yeah. Good afternoon. Viplav has been very generous in giving me less than 10 minutes to finish my presentation, so I wouldn't like to disappoint him. You heard Satish and Nag talk about the technology architecture, that is EduNext, and I'm the guy who is entrusted with the responsibility of making sense of it and useful for the students and the faculty of Sikkim Manipal University, or maybe it's the other way around. I tell them what I want and they try doing that. I'm actually an industry professional who spent about 13 years in marketing, sales, and operations. Then I was thrown to the wolves. I did a lot of corporate training technology professionals in corporate companies. And I also was part of the Infosys Project Genesis, trained around 2,000 teachers throughout the country. So I've trained about 4,000 people altogether. And today I'm in the business of training as a reward for all that, or giving education to about 200,000 students. So that's what you call a scaling up. Unfortunately, that precisely is the problem that you're facing today, the scaling up of technology, scaling up of learning. Well, I have been having several thoughts about this. It's a very difficult proposition given the fact that the technology changes so fast. And you need to show some value to the students as well as the faculty to be really doing something useful with that. But I do believe technology is extremely good. Well, I was fascinated by this concept of Rohit Bhargava of content curation. Actually, he made this model in reference to the online marketing. But I felt it made a lot of sense in learning. He was talking about content. But content is in abundance today. We know all that. The problem of content scarcity is no more there. Content is in abundance. The problem is of using the right content and applying it the way we want. Rohit Bhargava talks about the 5 different models of curation of content. The curating actually is taking the content, taking the relevant content and giving it in a useful chunks to the students at the time they want and in the form they want. He talks about the models of aggregation, which is you take all the relevant information and then you give it to the students in the form of a content module or concepts. He talks about the distillation as a process of curation, where the faculty try to take the best out of the content and give it to the students in the form they want it. And I was pleasantly listening to a speech by one of my colleagues in Bangalore a few days back in a conference in IIITB, where the lady who said that her students do some environmental course in the run of Kutch in Gujarat, and they collect samples actually, and they transmit it, they use GPS a lot, they collect samples of that, and then they send the videos, they upload the videos into YouTube, and then she puts it together in a course and then gives them the concepts behind that. So that is the concept, the process of elevation of the content. So the faculty essentially take the experiences of the students and show them the concepts and the philosophy behind what the concepts stand for. The mashing up is a process where you take different content from different contexts, but still put them in a sensible manner for the students to be perceiving it in the right manner that you want them to be doing. And the chronology is arrangement of this content as per the time, in the way they are evolving and in the way they are supposed to be given to the students. So this is the concept of curation, which I feel probably makes sense in the future of learning. Let's look at a little more about this. I think all of us, the last 2-3 days we've been here, it's pretty clear that learning experience is what we are talking about, really. And that the additional challenge is the learning experience should translate into competence. This probably is one of the best situations that I thought, which ensures that. Yeah. So this visual, you will see that you get a very good learning experience, and you're also getting the evidence of competence in this. I want to introduce another concept of the artifacts or the resources. Some of my friends have talked about it. The resources that we have provided on EduNext, or we have multiple resources, but the main among them are these. We have the self-learning material in the PDF form and in the blog form too, which is the study material, which is a text form. We have the ESLM, which is the electronic form of that, which has graphics. I'm going to show you a snapshot if it is there. Probably you can see it later. We have the quiz, which helps the students practice and ensure that they've learned something about it at the end of the module. We have the crosswords, which gives them a little bit of fun value, and they can see whether they remember some of the key terms. We have the model question papers, which is a very popular resource that we have, which the students see for the examination, they prepare for the examinations. We have cases and caselets, which apply the concepts that they learned during the course. We have videos uploaded by many of our faculty members. They see those lesson videos. We have animations which reinforce some of the concepts of the course. We have concept math, which is visualization of the concepts that we have in the chapters, and we have articles written by our faculty and others, and we have the assignments also, which are downloaded and done by the students, and of course we have the PowerPoint slides, which the bulleted points, which they can capture in a short form. So these are all the resources that we have on EduNext to the artifacts. The significance of the artifacts is that there's a postmodern theory of marketing called tribalism. I don't know how many of you have heard about it, but it says that people, it's a southern concept as against the individual concept of the northern concept, as they call in the postmodernism. It's a southern concept is of communities, and these communities essentially build the relationship and engagement over artifacts. So they have the artifacts, which you can consider. These artifacts doesn't mean only the resources, it also means several other activities that the participants in the community do. And these artifacts and the rituals that these people perform in the community gives them a sense of identity and belonging in the community. So which is very powerful, which is what I think as a university catering to a large number of working professionals or otherwise in higher education, we would be looking forward to. Something wrong with this? Okay. I'm sorry, it's, I think there's some problem with the, it's hanging. That's too less than 10 minutes.
That's the end of Shanath's talk.
Okay. Okay, and it's okay. Yeah. Now I want to introduce some of the very controversial terms in this, as I see the future of learning unfolding. One term is the academic disintermediation. What I feel among all the talks that I've been listening to several illustrative speakers in this hall, probably in the future university will focus on only innovation and research. Teaching is going to be decoupled from universities. Teaching is going to happen somewhere else. And that's what we heard also Granny saying, that flipped classroom and such things. So I believe the future universities will increasingly be focused only on research and innovation. So that's one trend which you can probably look at. And also the research will be more open and evolving. I remember in 2008, I walked into the room of our chief academics and I told him that, look, we want to be the first university in the world to be recognizing blogging as a research tool. And he looked at me as if I didn't even exist. And I just walked out. But very soon after, I saw HBR blogs coming out very strongly, and it was accepted in a very powerful way. But that's how it is. I think blogging is going to become a very good way of research. Not only blogging, and similar forms of technology-enabled expression of research is going to become very important. I'm going to be showing you something more, research which has been done by some of the people in the world about this. The teachers will be there, but the role will be drastically different, significantly different. I'm not saying teachers will not be there, so please don't beat me up. Content will become dynamic and move towards real-time curriculum. I am seeing, I was really impressed regarding an executive MBA program of Athabasca University, which I saw on the web, where the executives, they learn in the class, they learn in their classroom what they do actually in their workplaces. So they bring those topics and then discuss that. Now, Twitter could be an excellent way to materialize this, operationalize this in terms of real-time curriculum building. So the executives may actually think of the curriculum they want to discuss about, and they will start discussing it in the classrooms. The other controversial term I want to introduce is distributed expertise. Now in India at least, we are going through this, and everywhere in the world we are going through this. There is a huge acute shortage of faculty members, or at least good faculty members. The colleges are having a tough time over this issue. But very soon there will be a time when the universities will find a way around this. So will then still be faculty be relevant? Well, I am not sure. But I believe the teachers, the faculty will definitely be there. But the expertise not necessarily will lie with the faculty members. It probably, I'm sure many of the teachers who are taught in the classrooms or in the training programs, you would have experienced at least one or two students who know about that particular topic better than you do. You know, there'll be at least a couple of students in the classroom who knows about the topic better than you do. I think these students, so expertise will rest in multiple nodes or multiple points. It's not necessarily with the teacher. So that's one more thing I find it will happen. The human elements are still very important. The human element, that's the beauty of curation. Curation doesn't give you only content, but it also gives you trust, credibility, authenticity, and guidance. I think these are the human elements that would be required, but it may not necessarily come from faculty members. It may come from peers who are in the... We have an excellent example of the effort that is being done by our Jaga, Freeman, who was talking about this particular model, is trying out. I'm sure that's going to be the model. So the faculty's role is going to be significant. Now, what will be the faculty doing then? Now, I think they will become learning designers and facilitators. So this is a research paper which is published in EDUCAUSE, which says that we are moving away from the traditional, privately guarded research, the peer-reviewed research articles kind of a thing, which is still very important. I mean, if I say it's gone, then I'm going to be beaten up. So I'm not going to saying that. But we are moving away from a closed system of research to an increasingly evolving and open system of research. I think this is very important and technology is enhancing or enabling it in a very big manner. So this is what this says, that there is an increasing tendency for people to share the content with all the others, and that gives immediate feedback, immediate rating. You get to know instantly how many of your followers, how many liked your blog, how many didn't like it, what are the different points of view. I mean, this is a framework which increasingly is going to come in the future, I feel. I mean, this is one trend which catches my attention significantly. And after all, what are we saying? I think we are all talking about the same thing, where we say that the learner freedom and choice is important. Learner uses the artifacts in the way that he chooses. There's a pattern, I think object-oriented patterns of, which talked about reusing content, patterns evolved. I remember reading the Martin Fowler's book way back in 98, 99. But I think that pattern recognition, as Stephen Downes also talks about, is going to become a reality. It's this pattern that's going to be feeding into analytics. And this will become a very significant driver of the entire business proposition of value of the students that I'm talking about. The learners should be empowered to decide on the artifact where and when. The learner also exhibits a certain pattern in using the artifacts in interactions with the others. And the learner connects to the artifacts in a very meaningful manner. I think all of us are talking about this ultimately. And I feel this is the way that the whole thing is producing.